See this? What is this? Let me know in the comments below if this is a lemon or a lime. It's a lime. Here at the Hi and welcome to my channel. My name's Megan and today's video is about my first impressions and what really surprised me as a Canadian living in Vietnam. Just how challenging it is to speak Vietnamese. The Vietnamese language is tonal, so it's based on 6 tones that are represented by these symbols on the letters, so basically little squiggles that will change the pronunciation and essentially change the meaning of the word. I'm in a restaurant trying to order beef soup, pho bo, and the server just keeps laughing at me and ends up getting the whole restaurant involved in me trying to order this beef soup. Turns out I was saying pho bo, and pho is actually slang for prostitute. So they're all laughing at me trying to order a beef prostitute. People are so much fun. Okay, I get a kick out of them and they get a kick out of me. Vietnamese food is so good, and this wasn't surprising, but what was surprising is just how fresh it is. I was told I would have to wait 30 minutes for my order and asked if that was okay. He comes back holding a live chicken in his hand. Okay, I understand. I will wait for my chicken soup. 30 minutes. Dogs. I have not seen dog on a single menu. I do see many Vietnamese people walking their dogs as pets. Dogs are pets. Vietnam has the cheapest beer, and they drink it with ice, which is kind of different. They also produce wine in this country. Many Asian countries, wine is so expensive, but here you can get a local bottle for 100,000 dong, which is less than $5. So cheap beer, local wine, and an incredible coffee scene. Vietnam is actually the second largest exporter of coffee in the world. I know, what's the first? It's Brazil. You're welcome. It's very strong and it's served with condensed milk, and it's not takeaway style. Coffee is sat down on these little stools at these little tables, and it's enjoyed, often over a game of checkers, over a period of time. The teeny tiny tables and the teeny tiny chairs that go with these tables. Every restaurant. And every evening, these restaurants will be filled mostly with men who are drinking their beer with their ice while smoking. There's quite a bit of smoking here. Playing cards or watching soccer, football, whatever you want to call it, the one you kick with your foot, on these teeny tiny little stools. We'll see this every day at every restaurant, but seriously, it never gets old. I told my dad that after Sri Lanka, I was going to move to Vietnam. And he looks at me, completely concerned, and says, Megan, don't go to the north. Bad things happen in the north. Dad, that's Korea. Okay, so Vietnam is one of the 5 remaining communist countries in the world. The others would be North Korea, Laos, China, and Cuba. Here in Da Nang, you would never know. Vietnam began transitioning to a more market-based economy in the 1980s, and unless you were educated in communism, the average tourist isn't going to notice much of a difference apart from the occasional propaganda billboard. The you be you, no shame attitude of the locals, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all. I mean, they're out there blasting their music, yelling at each other from across the street, working out on the beach in their PJs. Also, personal space and privacy is not really a thing. Look at these photos I just took of you walking on the beach. Creepy, not okay. If someone can explain the bun bao guy to me, please do so in the comments. I will be very grateful. I just don't understand. You look so tired, you look so good, you look so fat. All of this is completely acceptable. My friend described it as loud and proud, and I feel like that perfectly hits the nail on the head. I'm not treated like a shiny, walking tourist wallet. There's no special treatment, there's no street begging, There's no calling out to you. You go to the stand, you shop like the locals. Maybe they upcharge me, I don't know. But I don't feel like a tourist, and I love it. I go to the local market, and I actually offended one of the ladies there. I was buying broccoli from her, and then I pointed out that there was little ants all through the broccoli, and I didn't end up buying it. Now, every time I walk past her stand, she looks at me, and she goes, "No!" and covers it up. Walk of shame to the next stand. Very competitive between these stands at the local market. Here at the market, these are called lemons. So what if I want an actual lemon? Like a yellow lemon, what do I call it? Anyway, lemons are limes, or limes are lemons. Absolutely everything about the motorbike culture. How many motorbikes there are, how many people you can fit on a motorbike, the fact that you park them on the first floor of your apartment buildings, and my personal favorite, grab moto. This would never be a thing in Canada. And they do give you a helmet, although the helmets here in Vietnam are like really tiny and cute, so I don't know how effective they are. Also, is there a honking language? Because it seems to be very rhythmic. If you're coming up on one side, you honk one way versus the other side. Crosswalks. They mean absolutely nothing. If you're trying to cross the street, you have to just go. You have to make eye contact. If it's a bus or a truck, don't go. But make eye contact with the motorbike drivers. Stay at a steady pace. It's when you hesitate, because they're all trying to swerve around you, that they suddenly don't know what you're doing, and that's when you're going to get hit. Or a better tactic, you can stand on the side of the road until a really nice citizen comes along, escorting an elderly across the street, and then just join in with them. Sidewalks are not for pedestrians. Often cars are parked on them, or they have conveniently decided to plant a tree in the middle of the sidewalk. However, if you do go down by the beach in Da Nang here, there's a beautiful boardwalk that is wide and it stretches all along the coast. Awesome. Awesome for walking. Construction. Everywhere. Not just the sheer amount of construction, but what really surprised me is the lack of safety around the construction. The sites are just left completely open. Most of the workers don't have helmets, and you're kind of just walking under construction. Also, there tends to be a lack of security at the hotels and the big fancy resorts here. You can just walk in and enjoy the pool and sit in their beach chairs or whatnot. Maybe I just get away with it because I look pretty harmless and they don't feel like they need to stalk me. However, I think I look kind of like a sketchball at the Pullman over here. Really hope they don't see this. I'm planning to go back. It would be how ridiculously cheap it is to live here. My apartment cost me $300 a month, and that's with all brand new appliances, a smart TV, cleaning once a week. The food, if you go to a restaurant, it's going to be less than $1. Beer is cheaper than water, and water is cheap. Also transportation, whether you're renting a bike or you're using a system like Grab, so cheap. You can get around the city on Grab in a car for less than $1. So I track all my finances so I could do a cost of living. I can give you an in-depth apartment hunt. Just let me know what other videos you'd like to see, and I'll do my best to make it happen. There you have it. Those are the things that really stuck out to me as a Canadian living in Vietnam. Thank you again so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe because I have some good stuff coming your way, and well, have a good week, because it's a good week to have a good week. I'm actually the worst. This is the worst outro. Bye. Ban bao.